All right, so we're diving deep into Macbeth,
Oh, yeah.
specifically Act 5, Scene 4.
Okay.
So those listening know we're in the final act. The tension is palpable at this point.
Yeah.
The forces opposing Macbeth are closing in.
Are gathering.
And this scene, you picked it out to look at more closely. It's a really good choice.
Oh, good.
It's short but pivotal. It sets up the final showdown.
It really does.
And I think the question on everyone's mind is, will Macbeth finally be defeated?
Right.
It's like the calm before the storm.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're seeing both sides getting ready, preparing for this big battle.
Right.
But it's more than just military tactics and strategy.
Mhm.
Shakespeare is giving us a glimpse into their minds, their emotions, their hopes, their fears. It's all right there on the surface.
Yeah, and right from the start, we hear Malcolm, the rightful king. He says this line, "Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe." Kind of a simple statement,
Yeah.
but so powerful.
It is powerful.
It really gives you a sense of how Macbeth's reign has impacted every part of life in Scotland,
Right.
leaving people afraid, even in their own homes.
Yeah.
What do you think is the significance of this line?
Well, it really highlights the extent of Macbeth's tyranny,
Yeah.
But the fact that Malcolm even has to say this, shows just how much fear and suspicion Macbeth has created.
Yeah.
And it reminds us that tyranny, it's not just, big battles and these, grand pronouncements.
Right.
It seeps into daily life.
Yeah.
It makes people distrust their neighbors, their surroundings, even their own thoughts.
It's true. And it's interesting, too, how that idea of feeling unsafe, even in your own home,
Yeah.
it transcends time.
Yes.
It's sad that there are still so many places in the world where people live with that same fear.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate truth. But you know what? It's Shakespeare's ability to tap into these universal human experiences.
Right.
I think that's part of what makes his work so timeless.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about Malcolm's strategy.
Okay.
Using the branches from Birnam Wood as camouflage.
Oh, yeah.
Seems pretty straightforward on the surface.
Right.
But what I find really interesting is how it plays into that prophecy Macbeth received earlier in the play.
Right.
Until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
Exactly. And that's where this strategy gets so fascinating because it's working on multiple levels, right?
Right.
You have the practical camouflage,
Mm-hmm.
but it also feeds into Macbeth's, superstition and his fears.
Right.
It's psychological warfare.
Totally. But do you think it's also a little manipulative?
Ooh, interesting.
Malcolm is essentially using his soldiers to make the prophecy come true,
Oh, yeah.
even if it's not happening literally.
That's a great point. It really makes you think about leadership and, the lengths that people will go to in order to win.
Mm.
Is Malcolm taking advantage of his soldiers' belief in this prophecy?
Right.
Or is he just cleverly using every tool he has to defeat a tyrant?
Right.
And, it's something for us all to consider, how those in power use manipulation, even when it's, for what they believe is a good cause.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, we have Seward, one of the English leaders.
Yes.
He makes his observation. We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane.
Yeah.
What do you think is interesting about how Macbeth is being perceived at this point in the play by the others around him?
Oh, well, that line is so telling. The word tyrant is key here.
Okay.
Because it demonstrates how Macbeth has lost any claim to legitimacy as a ruler.
Yeah.
He's totally isolated, he's feared, and he's viewed as nothing more than a brutal dictator.
Right. And we see that isolation even more in these lines. For where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him, but constrain things whose hearts are absent too.
Yeah.
People are clearly abandoning Macbeth.
Yeah, they're jumping ship.
But why? Now, what's prompting this mass exodus, in your opinion?
I think it comes down to self-preservation.
Okay.
Macbeth's reign has been all about fear and violence.
Right.
And as his grip on power weakens those who once supported him out of fear, they're trying to save themselves. They can sense the tide turning. They have no loyalty to a sinking ship.
Right. Yeah, it's a stark contrast to someone like Macduff, who's driven by a deep desire for justice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
His entire family was murdered.
Right.
That's fueling his actions.
Yeah.
He says, let our just censures attend the true event and put we on industrious soldiership.
Mm-hmm.
He's a man of action.
Yes.
He's not content to just sit back and wait.
Right. Yeah.
He wants to be a part of bringing Macbeth down.
Absolutely. He's all about actions speak louder than words.
Exactly.
And speaking of powerful words, we can't forget Sieberd's closing statement. Thoughts speculative, their unsure hopes relate, but certain issue strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Oh, that's a good one.
What are your thoughts on those lines?
Well, this is Shakespeare speaking through Seward, giving us a profound message.
Right.
It's about, how pointless it is to dwell on what ifs.
Yeah.
And the importance of taking action. Sometimes the only way to deal with a problem is to face it head on.
It's true. It's so easy to get stuck in our heads, overthinking things, especially when we're facing a challenge.
Right.
But sometimes you just got to take that leap.
You do.
Even if you're not sure what the outcome will be.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about this scene. It's not just about the upcoming battle, It's exploring these really complex themes.
Yeah.
Fear, ambition, consequences.
Right.
It makes us wonder what's going to happen next.
Of course.
But it also makes us think about how we handle our own lives and challenges.
I like that. Okay, so as we wrap up,
Yeah.
it's clear that this scene is a major turning point,
It is.
We see Macbeth's isolation growing, while Malcolm's forces are uniting and gaining strength. And with that final call to action, towards which advance the war, we're left hanging.
We are.
Wondering what Macbeth's fate will ultimately be.
Absolutely.
So as you reflect on this scene, what are you left thinking about?
Well, for me, the biggest question is, will Macbeth finally understand the mistakes he's made? Or will he just stay consumed by his ambition until the very end?
Right.
I think this scene really sets the stage for a tragic downfall.
It really does.